Welcome back.
Hi, thanks for watching CapriCast. He's Matt, I'm Nat, and let's get started.
All right, Things We Lock Away brings us to the third episode in the back half of the season, and things are getting intense for some characters and trying really, really hard to seem intense for others.
Not to mention getting some BSG mythology tie-ins that sit better with me than they do with Matt.
Yes, before we get into Head Zoe, let's talk about the most riveting and intense part of the episode, which to me, hands down, Greystones. So the very first thing that was happening with the Greystones was actually in Greystone Industries, when we got to see kind of a neat shot, actually, of Vergis standing from outside and then inside to that council chamber where the board was meeting.
Oh, man.
He was pissed. I think he knew exactly what was happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? Seeing Daniel speak to the Adamas afterwards about how, he's back in play, and then how the Adamas are like, well, we're
going to have to kill him now.
And he's like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
So the Halatha killing Vergis is a crazy concept, but it's something very steeped in tradition,
And
right?
Daniel doesn't even think of it. It doesn't cross his mind. He doesn't realize he's getting into bed with people who will kill people. And here it is, very obvious, this idea of controlling your return to the soil is a really cool, this sort of dirt eater concept. I like it.
It's sweet of him to consider that, Vergis is a businessman. Like, we can talk sense here, but
Frackin' Capricorns.
No way.
Where are your stones? That was great. Because when Vergis visits Daniel, you really get the idea that, no, this is how it's going to go. But then you get that glimpse, that glimmer, that hope. That the two businessmen are going to maybe take down the Halatha together.
I can't believe that was his suggestion. Can you believe it? Out of
it
all
was
the
intense.
Things he could have offered
and
him.
it really lets you realize where Greystone's allegiances are. He realizes the Halatha does not care about him, and he does not care about them either, because he was about to make a pact to take them down. And then, swear an oath on this blade. It was so,
it was excellent.
You saw that coming.
Oh, yeah, I totally saw it coming. As soon as he mentioned that the blade again, it's from my father.
My father's father.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's it. He's going to kill himself. And then when he turned it towards himself, that was it.
And then the Halatha has to come in to clean up Daniel's mess.
What?
Awesome. I loved it. Now, Amanda was actually kind of interesting in this because she's clearly working for the detective, who was not in the episode, just his text messages were.
Yeah, that was kind of strange.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little more of him. He was really intense in last week's episode.
Although it's funny because I'm waiting to see whether Clarice is going to completely see through Amanda. She's like, well, maybe I can come live with you.
Yeah, but she did wind up manipulating that pretty well when all of a sudden Clarice needed her there. So these two women who are each other's really close friends are just using each other constantly. Which begs the question, that moment when she looks down into Clarice's bag, do you think Amanda stole the holoband off camera? It's possible.
Who knows?
I don't know. Now, the Adamas really weren't very active. They were an adjunct to the Greystone story.
Just gave us a little more information more than anything.
So let's get into the STO. I don't know about you, but I kind of noticed that Lacey was missing the R in Motherfracker. Well then, that was intense. But why did it take her so long to realize she was being drugged?
Who knows? Although I think they shot that kind of interestingly.
Yeah. And if that was her point of view, she should have noticed right away
that something was wrong. Yeah. But you know what? As always, it sucks to be Lacey. It always sucks to be Lacey. In this case, it is no different. She's being sent off to STO training on Geminon now.
Now, do you think she's going to make it to Geminon or just jump ship and escape on the way?
I don't know. I think it makes sense for her to make it to Geminon. Maybe she doesn't make it to the training camp, but she makes it to Geminon because we need, I guess, another excuse to see.
And we've introduced all those characters now.
Yeah, like the Blessed Mother.
Oh yeah, we really want to see more of the Blessed Mother. So let's get to Geminon.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Now I just want to see a Rocky-style training sequence, a montage where Lacey becomes a super terrorist freedom fighter. That would be pretty awesome.
Well, you know what? Now that they're reunited in New Cap City, let's talk about Zoe and Hannah. We've heard it said both ways, but hopefully we'll have it cleared up soon.
Oh, geez. I really hope someone pays attention to continuity. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of BSG bitching right now about editing. In Battlestar, we had episodes that were cut what would happen, what is happening now, what has happened, what is happening now. Beautiful cuts, very elegant. And then we have other points, like when Kane and Adama are plotting to kill one another. You have these moments where they're cutting back and forth between intense moments that are happening at the same time. I felt like about 10 or 15 minutes went by over the course of the entire episode in V-World. The rest of it felt like days were going by. Boards were making decisions. People were visiting houses. Lots of stuff was going by. But
And
here
this
we
really
have
bugged you so
a
much.
terrible editing decision where we're going to go 15 minutes in V-World, intercut constantly, and a completely inelegant transition. I've got to say that.
I think that comes into play because you are a film and TV nerd, Matt.
Maybe. I'm not a big
As
a
a
big
viewer
fan.
just looking at the story, it was just nice to get the different elements of the story. I mean,
What's really interesting in this episode is that the BSG mythology of angels have come back.
Exactly. I mean, clearly Zoe, all versions of Zoe, it seems, have a head Zoe that comes to her.
Yeah, see, that's something we need to pay attention to. When she was a kid, real Zoe, she saw an angel. When she's a virtual Zoe, she sees an angel. So it's appearing to both digital and analog Zoe.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now, we maybe have seen angels in the past in Caprica. It's hard to say. Amanda might have been seeing one with her dead brother.
With her dead brother, it's really hard
Or
to say.
she's crazy.
Yeah. But the interesting thing I saw was that the angels seem to show up in the real world and in V-World, which I guess kind of adds a little more to that element of whatever consciousness is in V-World is really a life of some sort.
Yeah, now to take it back to what we've seen happen in Battlestar, Baltar was picked up by Head 6 once. So they are physically there. So it begs the question, is she code? Is she actual technology to be able to interact in V-World? I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out.
Who knows?
Now, another interesting thing is Head Baltar and Head 6 were angels whose job it was to guide humanity to their new home.
So they were doing something good.
Positive, you could say.
Okay.
Now, Head Zoe is doing the dirty work here. Does that make her a devil? Because the devil's an angel.
I mean, I know we've had this argument before.
Or is this the same character? Is this Head Baltar in a different form? Or Head Zoe? Maybe she's Head 6 in a different
Either way,
form.
I mean, if angels are are messengers of the one true God or whatever, they're working for the same guy regardless.
Just makes you wonder, maybe there's 12 of them. Now, it does kind of suck for Zoe that no one in her life is more important than her. Because her head character is herself.
Okay, for now. I mean, we don't know. Now that they've introduced the concept of a head character, she may be seeing other ones.
Head Baltar talked to Baltar, but he's a little bit egotistical. However, Zoe
is so bratty and self-absorbed, and she's such an entitled genius that, of course, that she would only see herself. What else would you expect?
The 13th episode is False Labor.
Oh.
It looks like Sam gets into some serious trouble with a rival Toron gang.
Which is crazy.
I didn't know those existed.
Neither did I.
I wonder if this is like the Yakuza showing up to take down the Mafia.
Or I guess two different bands of the Mafia? Does
they obviously
happen?
don't... A different boss, I guess. The
that's
Guatra was one gang boss.
Exactly. I thought the Guatra was the head honcho. I can't believe, or it's interesting to see, that he doesn't have a stranglehold on everything.
Yes, it is interesting. Organized crime on Caprica is not just the Guatrao, but so far it's just Toron. Interesting. Now we got a couple of sneak peeks, 3 in fact. We got that kick-ass man trap where, it's just a perfect case of a mob killing.
Yeah, that's
back
crazy.
back in, take him out. That was
Poor
intense.
Guy. Okay, the best one was Assassin Bot U87.
Yeah, I would love to know if that's actually U87. Does it get cleaned up after the violence? And it's got a red.
And
is
a
Zoe
belt
still
of
in there?
guns?
Yes, and clearly wearing like a Rambo gun belt. Now, Greystone's commercial cracked me up.
Yeah.
I love that we have the best actor on the show giving his best turn as a horrible, stiff...
Like infomercial.
Yes.
Commercial
It was
dude.
so good.
It was
Great
good.
commercial. With that insane close-up.
Exactly. But I love seeing that he's, even though he knows he can't really trust the Halitha, he's going on in his promise.
Yeah.
His side of the deal, he's going forward with it. So.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to what's going to go on next week. Thanks for joining us on CapriCast. See you next week.
It's looking good.